Hi guys, I hope you all had a fantastic March. I watched 11 movies in March. I was a little bit busy, so not quite the heavy heights I'm used to, a little bit like the previous month actually, although that was shorter. These are my top 3. If you want to know my countdown to the 3 and where I positioned the previous 8, please go to my Instagram and TikTok. You will find that video there where I count down to this video. But now let's get to my top 3 for March. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. Thank you for your support. Let's see what won for this month. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Winter's Bone from 2010. This was an unusual movie. I don't know why I picked it. I think I was just scrolling and needed to make a decision. I kind of give myself a very quick time limit when it comes to that, or else I'll be scrolling all night and then fall asleep at the end of it. So I chose this because I like a good thriller, I like a good drama, and I also like a good movie set in the mountains. And there's something about that isolated, cold environment which stands out to me. I remember part of these lists was Wind River a few months ago with Jeremy Renner. I quite enjoyed that. I just like the setting. And this one stars Jennifer Lawrence in one of her early roles. And honestly, she was exceptional in this, and I'm pretty sure that her performance was lauded. There's a real gritty realism about her. She is a very strong female lead that is almost inspirational, really, the way she looks after her family and handles the search for her missing father. There is a tremendous bleakness about the movie, a real feeling of little hope amongst the characters who are almost sort of existing. And that makes, I think, Jennifer Lawrence's character, Rhee, her personality stands out, that she is more determined than everybody else there, and she's getting so many doors shut in her face when she's trying to find her father, but she never just accepts things like everyone else in this movie seems to just accept this dreary life that they have. Now, I did feel like you could say that this story was a little flat, because you really don't know a great deal about Rhee's father, Jessup, who for the most part is this unknown, mysterious figure. But because you don't really know anything about him or what's going on, it's almost too mysterious. So you feel like you're really an outsider watching Rhee's journey rather than actually being in her shoes and seeing it through her eyes. I thought John Hawkes was very good in this. He's the standout for me. My first experience of him was in Identity as the cowardly, sort of slimy manager of the motel. But in this one, he's very gruff and very threatening. He's not particularly an imposing big man or anything, but you get the feeling that he could be a little bit difficult to handle in a situation where you're not on his good side. So I was really impressed with him. I did say in my Letterboxd review that if you're a real thriller enthusiast, this one might not be for you, but I love a drama and I like something with a bit of feeling. And I think that that is palpable throughout this movie and probably helps it a lot. When it comes to my rankings, I don't know whether you guys have seen this movie or not. Tell me what you thought. Were you a little bit underwhelmed, or did you really see through that and into Jennifer Lawrence's performance, which I think really carries this movie, along with John Hawkes? There's some nice music in this movie as well. Jennifer Lawrence also got an Oscar nomination for this, and actually if you read about it, IMDb states it that she was seen as too pretty for this role. But she went out and did a long walk and didn't shower and all that and made herself look as rough as she possibly could for this role. That's been seen before in many movies, such as Monster with Charlize Theron. This, she does pretty much the same, and she really suits it. You forget what she actually looks like when you watch her as this struggling, troubled, but very strong woman on a quest for something. So I would really recommend this if you like your dramas. If you are very much into being thrilled and you like your action, you want a whole lot going on, a lot of sequences like that, maybe this one isn't for you. But certainly if you want to look at Jennifer Lawrence's acting, in particular in this early role, and see the effort that she puts in, I 100% recommend it. In at number 2 is Miracle Mile from 1988. This is the shortest review I'm ever going to give on this channel, I think. This stars Anthony Edwards and Mare Winningham. Anthony Edwards of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Top Gun, ER fame, Pet Sematary 2 if you're a horror fan. And there's a little cameo from Maketi Williamson in there as well, of Forrest Gump fame. I'm not going to tell you anything about this movie. All I'm going to say is please, please, if you've never heard of it, watch it without seeing a trailer, without reading a synopsis. Don't look it up, don't research it, don't do anything that might give you a hint as to what this movie's about. Just switch it on and watch from the start. And number 1 for March was a bit of a shock, but it is this year's The Good Boy, or Heel, depending on where you are. Polish director Jan Kamasa is at the helm for this one, and it stars Anson Boone and Stephen Graham with Andrea Riseborough and Kit Rackison in support. This was a mystery screener that I went to. I've been doing a few of those recently. I had no idea what to expect. I'd never heard of this movie prior. I hadn't done any research on it. Again, that's always the best way to watch a film, is to go in as completely blind as that. And as soon as it came up on the screen, The Good Boy, I was like, surely not the dog movie again, because that was in one of my monthly top fives not long back. And this is a tale about a young man who is, well, sadly all too familiar to society now, but he is just an absolute lowest of the low gutter rat of a human being. He is destructive, offensive, hostile, antisocial, and you get that immediately from the start. If you don't like a lot of swearing, I don't think you're going to like the opening quarter of this movie, but you have to have that to establish this guy as what he is. He is so unlikable, it's beyond ridiculous. And you get Stephen Graham, and he's a very unusual character for what we're used to seeing Stephen Graham play, because obviously if you watch him as Combo in This Is England, you see how gritty and hostile he has been in a lot of roles up until this point. You would be a little bit surprised to see how he plays this one. He is very gentle. I think one of my friends, Star Lily on Instagram and TikTok, called his performance cute, which I thought was unusual but actually quite accurate. What I will say, without going into too many spoilers, is that Stephen Graham is there to try and correct this young man. And what ensues is such a bizarre situation. It might seem a little bit far-fetched to some. It might seem a little too slow burn. And in that, I would somewhat agree, because I think I said on Letterboxd that maybe they take 5 minutes to do something when 2 would do. But overall, I thought this was well acted, well shot. It has moments of suspense in there as well, real tension that are akin to a horror, but this is predominantly a drama thriller. I think what made me appreciate Anson Boone's performance in this is he is so believable, because it's very easy to bring a guy in like that who is just an obnoxious, ill-educated degenerate, and suddenly he's changed and transformed. And so a lot of the time that's just not realistic and not how life works. You believe it could happen here. He's so gradual with it, and he's so naive. And honestly, I think this is one of the best performances I've seen in the last couple of years. And I think that he really will go places off the back of this. He's done a modest amount of work in a short space of time. Obviously, he's only 26, but he's done quite a lot of television work. But I've never really watched him before until now, and I certainly will be looking out for him from this moment on. I am actually quite interested in one of the roles I know he played, which was Johnny Rotten in the mini-series Pistol about the Sex Pistols. I'm quite interested in seeing that, and I know about that now off the back of this, so that's another door it's opened up. In terms of where this movie goes and the direction of it, it's up to you whether or not it's to your taste, whether you think there is a satisfactory conclusion to it. But what I will say is it is bold, brave, and look out for the performance of Andrea Riseborough in this, because she is so confusing at the start, but then she really opens up as it goes on. There's a strange side subplot with a housekeeper as well, which is interesting. I don't quite know what they were trying to say with that. And the wonderful thing about this movie, and what's put it to the top for me, there is so much to talk about, so much to decipher, but also it's ambiguous enough in parts that you can make up a story that actually makes sense, rather than it just being wild suggestions and theories thrown out there. There are so many talking points in this movie, it's instantly rewatchable for that alone. So that's why The Good Boy, or Heel, one of those titles, it depends, obviously. I think it was released as Heel in some places and The Good Boy in others. But if you get a chance to watch this, 100% watch it. Let me know what you think of this movie down below, and any of my other suggestions. Again, if you want to know my top 11 completely, go check out the other 8 in the list on my Instagram and TikTok. The links are down below for that. That's my movies watch for March. I'll try and get a few more in for April. Always a busy month, but I'm sure it's going to be a fun one. Thanks guys for checking this video out. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell down below, and I will see you next time. Cheers everyone.